Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'd like to start a new project, but it's a into the box of unfinished projects as well. So what I've got is 4 blank journals. Let me bring that camera up a little bit for you. There we go. So I've got 4 blank journals, and the plan was I made these for some friends. We were going to a retreat and the retreat got cancelled. Long story short, and just before the retreat was about to kick off, I was going to find a kit for each one of these from a different designer, sort of give them bits and pieces that they could, work with, and we could play in these journals. So it was a bit of a gift. So these 3 I haven't yet found kits for. And I did consider bringing this one into the Edie journal, but it just made it all too bulky and it just didn't happen. So that one is still hanging around. So what I want to do in this particular series is I'm going to put these 3 away. They'll pop up another day, another rainy day, when I find a nice kit that potentially suits these ones. So I'll put them to one side. But this one, I've had in mind this particular kit from this designer, Paper Daisy Journals. Now, the plan is, let me just come back a little bit more, I think. Now, the plan is to add elements from these papers to the journal so that someone can take it to the next step. Or if I'm sort of get ahead of myself and enjoy the process, I might just finish it anyway. I'm just not sure how I'll go. But the main thing was matching in some papers that sort of suit. Because the retreat was coming up so fast on me, I did go through and just quickly popped in there some bits and pieces that I thought might suit the cover to some degree. I'll take those things out because I'm going to now really theme this particular journal with these papers from Paper Daisy Journals. Now, Paper Daisy Journals is a fantastic business. They are based in New South Wales in Australia, and Kylie does lots and lots of journals that she sells, and she'll often do a video just showcasing her creations, and they sell lickety-split. So really, really gorgeous work. I've been lucky enough to own one of her journals. It's just beautiful. She's very, very creative. So Kylie also has a range of digital kits, which I've been admiring for quite some time. And I probably purchased, I think, 6 of them 18 months ago, maybe 12 months ago. And I've just had them printed and sitting in my file, waiting for the right journal to take them. Then, when this retreat come along, I created this soft cover Midori style journal out of this fabric. And in the back of my head, it just reminded me of Kylie's kits. So, long story short, I think they're a perfect match. And when you see the papers, I think it's just going to come together beautifully. And I had sort of earmarked this one for me. I sort of felt like it was sort of one that I'd enjoy, but who knows. So I just first of all want to show you the different kits that I've purchased, and don't hold it against me. I went a little cray-cray, but that happens. It was over 2 periods of time, 18 months ago and then the other day. So, it's sort of I can't be held accountable. So what I've done is in each kit there may be 1 or 2 pages missing because it didn't quite match where I was heading with it. But the rest are pretty much spot on. So I'll tell you the names of the kits. Kylie's store is linked in the description, and I'll go through and find all of these particular kits and link them as well. So everything should be down below if you miss something. So let me just show you the first one. This one is called Wallpaper Collage. So let's get this out of the way first, and then you can see sort of the style I'm thinking for this particular journal. Now, I'm not going to use all of these elements, but these were just the images that popped up on my laptop, and I thought that will work, that will work. So that one is called Wallpaper Collage. So just beautiful. All right, the next one is Wallpaper Tag Kit and Ephemera. Now, there was definitely a few more pages in this one, but I just picked out the pinks and the blues. Aren't they pretty? Just different. I really, really like the style. So that's Wallpaper Ephemera and Tag Kit. So that's technically a bit of a set. This is the one that started it. This is the kit I bought way back. It's called Antique Fabric. Now look at that. How close could you get? So this is pretty much where it all started. Antique Fabric, and it's some tags. I got 2 copies. There'd be more in this particular kit, but these were the ones that sort of caught my eye as potential starting point. Who knows, I might go looking again, having a little shop, but we'll see. I've got to refrain, like I've got enough. There's enough here for 3 journals. This one is called Floral Ledger Paper. Now I've chosen this one because it has the flowers and it's just a little bit of what I'd call air through the journal. I've got to not get too intense with all the colours and the imagery and the fabrics, and so it pays to have some pieces that are just where you can take a little breath. So this is some ledger paper. Now I've backed some of these in anticipation that they'll slide into the journal. Now that one printed the wrong way. That's what happened there. But I believe that at least those 2 are salvageable, is that the word? So I had to print it again the right way, which is this one here. So that's Floral Ledger. The next one is Blank Ledger. So just in case we wanted to do some embellishing, and once again printed it the wrong way. Printed it the wrong way. Look at that, 2 different printers. 2 different colours. Oh, if only we could get consistency. No. Okay, let's put that one away. I didn't print a lot of this plain paper because we are only doing 1 journal. This one here is called Spring Caress Kit. Now there's actually 4 pages missing because they really didn't quite suit this particular journal. It's a bit of a grungy, more muted look, but I liked it, and it had some great ephemera pieces in there that I really, really wanted to use. Some nice Victorian imagery. So that one there, I just chose 2. I think there's 4 pages missing out of that kit, so you'll have to go have a little look yourself. Don't want to give you all the surprises. Now this one here is English Cottage Garden. Once again, it caught my eye because the ephemera. I just thought that was gorgeous. And then some general pages. It's got a real pink tone. That image there I've printed on the back of a few things. I just think it'll be beautiful. That one there. And that one. I love how Kylie scans in laces and fabrics, and just beautiful. I'm guessing she owns all of those pieces too. So her journals, they're just gorgeous because they have a mix of a lot of fabrics and lace in them. So they're very tactile to touch. She's got gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. This one's a blue kit. I don't think we'll use it, but there's 1 or 2 pieces that sort of caught my eye. That lady in particular and this lady. I thought if it gets too pink, I'll just print it off this blue one, you know, just in case. Like, it does work. So we might need to just lighten it up a little bit. So there's definitely more pages involved in this one. Now, these 2 were the random impulse purchases yesterday. Now, she's got a vintage doily scanned thing, kit, and she's made them already into tags and journal cards. So perfect for someone who's just starting out making a junk journal. Your shapes are there already. You don't have to collage anything. They'd be great for flips. Like, they're just gorgeous. And some of her pieces in it, some of this embroidery is just beautiful. And I thought, oh, just to have it in my collection of general ephemera, like, that would go with anything. Look at that. Just beautiful. And this is some of my favorites. That there is gorgeous. Butterfly. It's just it's one of those general kits that I reckon you would use a lot, because it'd go with anything. So I love, love, love that. I don't know how I didn't see it the first time. Maybe it wasn't available when I bought my first round of kits. That's possibly the case. That happens, you know, you fall in love with a particular designer and then you don't see them for 12 months. And unless Etsy gives you a notification that something's new, and that doesn't always happen for some reason, it pays to go and revisit all the designers, because you may have missed something that they've done that sort of fits your style, because you obviously liked it in the first place. Now, this is just gorgeous. Somehow she has acquired a French, I'm pretty sure that's French, yes, a French embroidery book, an antique French, it's probably even vintage, and she scanned some of the pages. Now, she uses in her journals, her recent journals, actually had some of the original ephemera in it using this, and thank goodness she scanned it, because wow. And as you know me, I love slow stitch and embroidery and all things stitched. And to have that in amongst my journals now is just a beautiful, look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. And not to mention, we could probably do some embroidery. Like, we should have a go at embroidering this. Why not? Just gorgeous. And look at these. Look at the little snowballs. Oh, just beautiful. And the last one. Love, love, love it. Just gorgeous. And they're generic. Like, you could do all sorts with those elements. So if you're looking for some kits that complement anything, this would be one of them. And the doily one would be one of them, because there's soft colours. The designs are what I call neutral, like that. Just beautiful. And I love how she's put the little edge on them. So, yeah, I'm thinking that she's actually made these pieces, because I can see sewing. Yeah, I'd say she has. She's made tags and journal cards out of her fabrics and then scanned her creations. Like, oh, beautiful. Thank you, Kylie, for letting us all share in them. Now, this is another gorgeous kit. Birds and Blossoms. Another good generic piece. Look at that. These cross-stitch little birds. She has scanned and made a kit. Look at that shadow. Sorry, guys, about the shadow. It's a really gloomy day here. Got two different printers. Look at that. One's more pink. So, yeah, this one I printed. I think this kit, hang on a minute. Sorry, guys. I think this kit I got the 18 months ago. And then the other night on the second printer, I printed this one. I did another copy. Just gorgeous. And then with this bird kit are some tags. So yep, there you go. Two different printers, two different tags. What fun. Some music paper. She's got a music paper kit in there, but this kit had this particular piece and also some ephemera. I'm pretty sure this is definitely part of this kit. I'd hate to think I've got it all mixed up, but I think that's right. That might be from Corrine too. Just don't quote me on that. Now, there's a second kit in amongst it. One was tags and ephemera type pieces. The other one was collage journal pages. So I think I'm now drifting into the second kit in the Birds and Blossoms Look at that. So pretty. If that doesn't inspire people to play in their journal, just gorgeous. And if you were tricky enough, you could use that as a pattern. You could get yourself a piece of linen and cross-stitch that little bird and pop it on the cover of the journal. Oh, so cute. Because all you got to do is count it. And that one there. Isn't it pretty? Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so that's the birds and blossoms kit. Another one that I think is a good, where's my paper clip gone now? A good general kit to have in your stash. Lost my paper clip. How is that possible? There it is over there. So yeah, like I said, a good general one. Goes with everything, anything. Just gorgeous. You could take that in so many different colour waves, from the pinks right through to the neutrals and the browns with just a hint of pink. Beautiful. Okay, this one is called Ledger and Lace. Another good general collaged kit. So all sorts of goodies on there that you could easily embellish just to make your own. This is a collage page that she's put together. She's then laid over an old letter, a doily and some lace and scanned it. So pretty. I was sold at doily. I love my doilies. This one here's music paper with lace across it and scanned. Very pretty. And the same again. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Another good general kit. Okay. So what I'll end up doing, I think, in this series is I will create ephemera. I will have a play in that journal. How much of the journal I do, I don't know. I don't know if I'll finish it and then it'll be ready to give to someone, or I'll take it to the point where if this retreat happens again, there'll be some elements in it that really honed down the theme, because it was a little bit general. I was sort of the 12th hour of going to the retreat, and I quickly grabbed out some, what's that book that we all buy? Daphne's Diary. I went through a couple Daphne's diaries and pulled out some pages that sort of suited the four of them, the four journals, and with the person in mind that I was thinking about. So one of them has gone very gardenish, from the Daphne Diary, where I'll probably peel that back out and take it more into sort of my world, and yeah, find a kit that is specific for it, but who knows when that'll happen. But at the moment, this particular little journal, I believe, is going to just bathe itself in all of these papers. Now, what I've done here is this is the wallpaper, and then on the back, I've just printed some random images to create pages. So once again, in my printer, I print the first pages that I like with nothing on the back. And then I've worked out that if I lay my papers in the printer like that, yours might be different, but my wording or my little rhythm or my rhyme, I say, is if there was a person lying on this page, their toes would be near the road at the front of my house. That's how I do it. So they went in, they came out, and then I picked them back up, put them back in, and I put them like that so I could see the person and their toes were to the front of the house. That's my little rhyme. It's a silly little rhyme, but it tells me that when I go back into my files, I can pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 new images, hit print, and they will appear on the back of my paper in the right direction. So just have a play with your printer, and that will sort of help you work out if you can, create yourself a little rhyme, I guess is what I'm saying, to show you how to print. Forget it. Whatever. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm babbling. So favourite papers just with an image on the back. So, of course, I had to use the birds because they're just beautiful. I don't know if we'll need all of these pages, but there's 2 signatures in this book. And then I just put some general lace on the back of them. So, yeah. Okay, well, let's get started. And like always, we've got a little bit of prepping to do. So, the first thing I want to do is tear down these pages. Let's have a little look at the journal and see what will fit. I'm pretty sure the A4 size page won't be a problem. Yeah, that'll be fine. Be pretty close. And I'll just pull out, while we're here, some of these pieces. Like, that's not bad. That could potentially be used when we collage over it to bring it into this theme. I'm going to leave that one side. See, I kept it fairly generic. There's a piece of paper. Well, that could be used. We'll leave that. I just want to get rid of anything that's blaringly not. Got a little bit of William Shakespeare, some normal paper. Yeah, that's not. Let's get rid of the cats. Cats are gone. Yeah, not today. Music. Oh, there's quite a bit in here. That's no good. That can go. I might slide those pieces into one of the other journals just in case that retreat happens. And it can be a quick grab. Look, at this one will suit it perfectly. Yeah. Yeah, this is good. At least they're not rolling around my desk now. They're in here, safe and sound. All right, so Purple Journal has just acquired 2 more pages in the first signature. So let's have a look. I've got some straw paper. Gee, I was feeling generous. I don't use my straw paper enough because it's like I hoard it. I got it from Rachel from Roxy Creations ages ago. It was one of my very first orders from her, and I'm still hoarding it. It's ridiculous. But it looks like I did let some go. There you go. Be proud. There we go. Some more pages. And then in the back here, in this back pocket, I just popped elements that could be used to decorate when we were at the retreat. But none of that is going to stay. So I'm going to put all of those goodies. I might even go and tuck all that in Edie's journal. What's in the front here? Oh, yeah, I also added for the girls little bits and pieces that could be used to decorate. So there's some lace, there's some fabric that was left over from the cover, an envelope, there's a napkin inside, another envelope, and some random pieces of ephemera. Okay, so we will play with all that. So I'm going to keep all the generic things. I've got a thread hanging off there. Where's my scissors? Let's just trim that little guy off. So as for these covers, if you're wondering how I made them, I'm actually, before I get started on that, let's just slide this ephemera into this journal. Lots of goodies in that now. Okay, so that can go away. Now, the cover, and we decided to keep that. We're just going to collage it over it. Put it like that. The cover is some cardstock cut down to size, and on that cardstock I've glued a piece of fabric. I've kept it pretty simple because I made these fairly quickly, these journals. So what I did is some cardstock, I cut it to size, which I will tell you the size if you wanted to make one. My height is 9 3/4 or 25 centimeters, and my width is 12 inches plus another 2, so 14 inches across. Okay, so I glued the cardstock with my standard glue stick. I then laid it onto the fabric and sort of squished it all out so there were no wrinkles. And then I did the same to the inside with just calico. So I kept it nice and plain, just calico. And then creased it or scored it to create my spine, which in this case is probably 1.5 inches. It's 4 centimeters, which is just over 1.5 inches. So it's a decent spine because I just didn't know how much would go into these particular journals. And then I also laid a piece of fabric across the bottom here, the whole length, with some lace over the top of that. Now, before that piece of fabric was attached to the cover, I went around on the sewing machine and I just sewed the very top edge so that the lace is now attached. Then I laid it down onto the cover and I sewed right around the external edge of the whole thing, and that caught the pocket down. I then put, because the pocket was flapping, I'd put a line of stitching there and a line of stitching there. Now, I did that to the calico, that stitch, and no, let me start again. So you've got your pink piece of fabric and you stitch the lace on across the top edge. So that edge is now secure. I then laid it on the calico before the calico got glued to the backing. And I did this stitch here and here. Does that make sense? Then I put the calico onto the paper and I did the perimeter stitch. So you just have a little think about your 3 steps to bring it all together, because I didn't want this stitch here and of course this one to be seen on the front. So the pocket nearly needs to be decorated beforehand. This needs to be attached to the inside panel and then the inside panel glued down. If that makes sense, I hope it does. And then you've got your journal. So I then went and put some brads in, not brads, some eyelets, and I put some elastic through. Now, most people use either elastic. I like the flat elastic. You can use the round elastic. It doesn't really matter. The round elastic at the moment is quite difficult to actually find. So where this one, this normal flat elastic is even at Spotlight, it's everywhere. So that's the one that I'm using at the moment. And I sort of, whenever I buy a Midori style journal, I've got a few young people around me that love all of the, what do they call it? Daily planning that they do in it. So I'm often buying covers and things for these kids because they've got to be certain brands and things like that. And the elastic in them is a flat one. So when I saw that I couldn't get the round elastic anymore and I was like, oh no, I can only get flat, it doesn't matter because a lot of the commercial ones out there are using the flat. So just if you're concerned about your elastic for your Midori journals, don't be. Now, what I'm going to do is do a bit of ripping and get these pages prepped, ready to go into the journal. So, yeah, if you want to tune out and move on, go for it, because I'm just going to do some very boring prepping, getting everything ready. Might just fold that in half if you fold it in half, I find that it is a little bit more paper to tear, and it tears a lot better than a big long sheet. Just an observation. So I'll just tear this one again. All right, so those pages should fit. Should not be a problem. It's going to be interesting working on a Midori for a change because I don't have the spine restricting me. So there you go, that works beautifully. So let's get the rest of the pages sorted. Then we might do a little bit of gluing because we've got to back all of the tags. Now I'm going to start pulling these pieces of paper apart, so we will now lose the names of all these, the names of all these kits. So you will have to now just rely on either my memory, maybe I best not say anything, rely on my memory as we go. I'll try and use the correct words for them because that helps me remember too what pages are. If I pick this kit up in a couple months' time and I need a few more pieces printed, well then I'm like wallpaper, paper daisy journals. So let's just get it torn down. So pretty. And as I said, this one I sort of earmarked for myself. I don't know. I made it to the covers around the time that I booked my trip to Paris next year with Lisa Mattock. I'm going on her sewing, it's not sewing, fabric lace trims expedition where she takes you for a week around Paris. I'll have to get that one up. Looking at all of the different places that she goes to. And I sort of felt like I wanted to have a little journal that when I get back, I can put scraps of fabric in that I purchase. Let's assume I do. I'm pretty sure I will. And I thought if I take the time to catalogue what I did into a journal, like a fabric swatch type style journal, I'll have them because we use them and those bits become smaller bits and these bits disappear into other bits, and I thought, well, it's a bit of a special thing, so maybe I should make myself a little travel journal. I won't take it with me because I won't have time to be mucking around with a journal, but it'd be somewhere I can grab and turn into it. And the plan at the retreat was to create, something, and I had this kit sort of half earmarked. So I'm sort of thinking along those lines still. Just do a little bit of work in it. And like I said, this is an unfinished project. So I'd love to get it finished. But if it didn't, it doesn't matter. Because you never know where these projects are going to pop back up on your radar again. Okay, so there's some pages. Now, my usual style is to run them through the sewing machine and put a border on them, which I definitely want to do at some stage. So, tore that pretty bodgy like. I see there's... Okay. A little combination there of pretties. Pages. All right, so let's put them to one side. Now, I do want to glue some tags. So I've just got some Parisian dyed paper. If you've watched me for a while, you'll know that I don't use coffee, or I don't use tea, because I don't drink tea, and the coffee has a smell, and a lot of people don't like the smell, so I sort of gave up on coffee. And I thought, oh, what else could we use? Where's my scissors? I need some scissors. I keep picking up my fabric scissors. Naughty, naughty. I can hear my grandmother going, Corrine. So I'm just going to take a little excess off the page. Not a lot, but that just helps me line things up. When I glue, you've all seen me do this, my technique. Okay, got some glue. So I'm going to lay that on there upside down. So I'm using the paper underneath as my keep it off the bench paper. But we will get a little bit. The good news is I finally got some baby wipes, so I can quickly clean down as we go. I've been struggling for months. Just don't think to go down the baby section in the grocery store. Just is not on my radar. But probably every 12 months I need to buy a packet of baby wipes to clean the glue off. You can use a damp cloth, of course, which I did for a month or so till I got myself some. But it just becomes a gluey mess. And unfortunately, the disposable concept does prove to be handy. So I'm now just laying that down. Because I've trimmed that little bit off of the paper, the printed digital, it just allows me to keep my bench a little bit cleaner. So where is my tool I use to... That's a business card, that's not going to do it. There it is. This is just making sure that the glue is adhering everywhere. And it also helps flatten out the fibres of the paper. Then I can do a bit of a rough cut. And I often just try and sneak a few edges off of the actual print. Sort of less cutting later. And then I'm going to lay this page under my mat here, because it's nice and heavy and it'll keep my piece flat. So excuse me while I lift my mat and slide it underneath. There we go. Now, what else have we got? So I'm just going to whiz through the pile of papers. So they're more just general collaging. And I'm going to pull out all of the tags. Let's see what we've got. There's some tags. There goes the last of the names. So Birds and Blossoms, we can remember that one. Birds and Blossoms, tags, probably do those as well, what the hang, and those. Probably do them. I might keep the little bird images out for now, and that is going to go into an ephemera pile. Let's just focus on tags, because we're going to need little bits and pieces to decorate. So I'm just going to take that off of there. And off of there, that just shortens the page down so that it'll sit pretty much on there. Grab my glue. I know this is a bit laborious, this stage, but I sort of don't mind it. When you don't want to think, or I guess you're still thinking about the journal and how it's going to come together and what you're going to do. This stage is sort of a moment to take a break and have a bit of a think. I guess I need to decide what I'm going to use it for, because I probably shouldn't add too much lace in that, because what if I get a heap of lace in France and then I'll have all these tags with lace hanging off of them that is not French. That's something I need to consider. I don't know. Just doing a bit of a rough cut. And then this will go under my board. Okay, another one in. Very boring for you all, I'm sure, but I'm sure you're crafting away too, so what the hang, I say. Not every little job in the journaling creation world is exciting and full of lace and trim, is it? You've got to do all this foundation work to sort of set yourself up ready. So step one, back all of your journal cards. You don't have to, by all means, there'll be journal cards and tags made throughout where I'll be using specifically made pieces. Like you might have a pocket that these just don't fit, but being they're part of the kit, it is a bit of a gift that you don't have to build a tag from scratch. So I like to get them prepped. Gives time for the glue to dry as well, and they're nice and firm, so yeah, I just like the feel of that in my hands instead of a cold, damp piece of paper. That's up to you. Don't get me wrong, in 10 minutes time I could be making a tag and got a cold, damp piece of paper in my hand because I'm too impatient to wait for it to dry. So I don't know if Kylie has used these pieces in a journal yet, but lucky person that got those little birds, those cross-stitch birds. Beautiful. And like I said, if you wanted to have a go at recreating them, you certainly could, because the photo that Kylie's used in the kit is really clear. So it wouldn't take much to get a piece of graph paper and a pen and just reproduce the design. There we go. There aren't too many more tags in our kit. Let me get this one under. Actually, I might just do a quick trim. Beautiful, just beautiful. These are definitely tags she scanned, because I've just noticed that her stitching from her sewing machine is on those images. So she's a journal maker and then she's scanning her creations. How gorgeous. Such a good idea, because once you sort of make these tags and they go into journals, they're gone forever, aren't they? You just got to be careful with your copyright. You need to be using really old fabrics and things like that. So you sort of become quite an expert on copyright when you start making digital kits, because the last thing you want to do is get yourself into strife. So if you are considering scanning some of your pieces, be very, very careful. Now these are also tags as well. So they can be done, but let's have a quick flip through. That's just general ephemera. Let's see where we're at. That's just pretty pieces that can be used to decorate. So I'm going to put that in that. Did I miss anything there? I'm trying to separate it. These are like collaging pages. This is ephemera, which we can cut and decorate with. So there's one page. There's a collage page. Just got two piles happening here. This little guy was the Spring Caress kit. So we've got ephemera page is going down beside me and the collaging page up the top. This is all play, decorate. I'm going to back that one, but we won't worry about those. Oh, there's some pages that could be torn down because they're double-sided. That's right. So we're going to tear them down and add them to the pages. These are just some collaging ephemera. Here's the tags I was looking for. Yeah, they'll be backed. This little kit is the wallpaper ephemera. Let's clean up the mess. I've got paper everywhere. How quickly it gets out of control. That's for what? Ephemera. That's tags. And the last one, I believe this is just all pages, yeah. Oh, this would make a gorgeous journal where you use envelopes and you flip through and then you turn it over and come back the other side, like my William Morris journal. Maybe we need to do that too. Goodness sakes. Another project, another day. Okay, so they're just pages to use to decorate. So that's their story. So let's get a ball clip onto that. Then we've got a little pile of elements we can use to decorate. Gorgeous. Bit of everything there. And we've got these that I can glue and back, but I won't bore you with that because we're running out of time, but I do want to tear down these. So let's get that little job done. That will pretty much pull us up on the hour. And I will carry on gluing those journal cards to the backs of the Parisian dyed paper. If you're wondering about my Parisian dyed paper, it's just the Parisian Essence that we've used in our kitchens to colour gravy. So it gives a nice brown tone and you can make it as dark and as light as you like. There is a video I did some time ago on how I do it. I might link that below as well. Let me just write that down. So, Parisian Essence video. Okay, I'll put that in the description so you can sort of see my recipe. Oh, I didn't fold it in half. Some paper just tears beautifully. Other paper fights you every moment. Don't know why that is. I find if you fold it, it's just a little bit more rigid in your hand. So there's our torn pages ready to insert. How we go? We've got 10 minutes. Let's keep gluing. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, and that will keep you updated with all my videos. And the little bell gives you a notification that a particular video series that you like will come to you. And I was reading about YouTube and how they, I guess, suggest things to you. So if you hit the thumbs up button, the like on any videos, YouTube will then go, oh, well, everyone likes this video. Maybe this person over here might like it. So YouTube uses the like button to figure out if the videos are popular or not. So if you want to do a YouTube person that you follow a massive favor, hit the like button after every video you watch, because that really tells YouTube that you enjoyed it. Therefore, they'll be thinking, oh, well, maybe others may. So I thought that was quite interesting. I wasn't real sure how all that analytics worked, but that's the theory on the like button. So if you really like a video, hit the like, and then you're helping that creator by, telling YouTube that, hey, these guys are good, or this lady is good. You need to share it with other people. So that's what the like is all about. I understood the bell and the subscribe. They're both very similar. But the bell will give you a little text on your phone or iPad to say, hey, Corrine's just put another video up. The subscribe is you're forever in my circle, unless you unsubscribe, of course. But that subscribe button will just, whenever you open Facebook, not Facebook, YouTube, when you open it, just grabbing some more paper. When you open YouTube up to watch something, your subscribed channels will pop up straight away. So you don't have to think, basically. You can just pick up your phone, open up YouTube or your computer, and up pops whoever you've subscribed through. But if you then hit the bell, it will send you a message to your phone to say, hey, Corrine has just put up a video. So that's how it works, apparently. Well, that's 5 minutes of my life I'll never get back in the understanding of how YouTube works. Oh my goodness me. They're all getting way too smart for my liking. But we won't get on to conspiracy theories. We won't go there. Oh, but I must say, the other day, I was chatting to my father and brother about a tractor brand. A tractor. I did not Google it. I did not look it up in any way. I was just chatting about a brand of a tractor, and dead set the next day popped up on Facebook a video about farm equipment from a farm supply place. Man. Oh, you wouldn't believe it if you didn't see it for yourself, because that is just full on. We had some young people coming over for dinner. Their parents were here, and the two girls were on their way in their own car because one had her license now. So they were driving together. And on the way, they did not have their phones in their hands because they were driving and chatting, and their phones were sitting on the back seat. And they were talking about artificial plants and how they are such a great way to decorate your little house. And they were dreaming of their first house, you know, just chitter-chatter, and how an artificial plant was just such a cool idea. And yeah, so they arrive, we're having dinner, and they're all sitting around my kitchen bench, chatting away, a big group of us. And the girls suddenly start squealing because on their phone up popped all these ads for artificial plants. And they didn't even Google that in the car because one was driving, the other one was just, you know, chatting away. And they swore black and blue that they did not pick up their phone and do a Google search. And I sort of half believed them. You know, I'm like, yeah, good on you girls. I'm sure you Googled artificial plants. No, we didn't. I'm like, oh yeah. And then the tractor thing happened to me. And I know I did not Google those tractors. So there you go. Now yous are not going to sleep tonight. Oh, scary world we live in. How are we going for time? We've got 4 minutes. A couple more to do. We'll keep going until we hit the hour. What does it matter? You got nowhere to be? You probably do. We got better things to be doing than watching me do this and prattling on about how the world's going crazy. You're probably noticing a bit of a technique I do with this gluing by now. You've seen me do it a few times. Isn't our month disappearing fast? Oh my goodness. It is just slipping away. Oh, these are so pretty, these papers. Just beautiful. I'm not sure how long this series will go for. We'll just see how we go. And like I said, I don't even know really what we're going to do with this journal and how far along it goes decorating wise. I don't think it matters, does it? It's got like a denim tone. Imagine a denim journal. And then these colours were brought in as your floral. Oh, there's another journal. It's definitely all about the kits, I reckon. When you see a kit that you just love. And it sort of starts you off on a whole theme, and then it's fun bringing all the elements that you own into that kit. It won't hurt to have excess of these left in my ephemera basket too, because they're just great colours that will go with all sorts. So that's why I'm just going to get them all done and then they can go into a little envelope in my basket. Starting to get a bit messy on my bench here. Well, that's pretty much it, I think. I've got a couple pages to do, which I'm not going to bore you too much because we've hit the hour and the video just gets too long to upload. So we will leave it, we will leave it at that. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you'll come along for the ride as we have a play with Kylie's kits, and everything is down below if you decided to go and have a little look. She's got plenty of other kits too in her range, so definitely worth a little peruse. All right, guys, look after yourselves, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.